Our Constitution says that the legislative power rests with the people, and it is a check on the representative form of the legislature. In case they pass things that people object to, it gives the people a chance to nullify laws the legislature has passed. Referred Law 14 improves incentives that South Dakota needs to compete with other states so that our local businesses will expand here, and so we're attractive to large projects to invest here.
South Dakota is the only state in the nation that has a contractor's excise tax, and this puts us at a disadvantage when companies are looking to expand here or move here. They compare us to other states, and in that first year we don't look very good. Over the long haul, we look great because of no personal income tax, no corporate income tax, and Referred Law 14 will give us a chance to offset that tax, attract those companies here, get those jobs, get that investment in our state, and they'll be here for years and years and years to come then.
We can address that by blunting that higher tax for that investment only. Then they're operating in South Dakota that has a very balanced tax structure. Then we get the higher paying jobs. We get more funding for school on a long-term basis. We get stronger communities. We get companies who make contributions in the communities. We grow South Dakota's economy.
And then we'll have property tax support, jobs, economic growth, and all the good things that come with new business.
Referred Law 14 was written to be an improvement on the current law. The current law sunsets December 31st, 2012, which means it goes away. If we don't put this improved version and stronger approach into law as a replacement of that, starting on January 1st, we will not have an economic development incentive that will allow us to compete against other states for the most significant investments being made to grow South Dakota's economy.
If this bill expires, we lose one of our major concessions that South Dakota has to work with. We still don't have a corporate income tax. We still don't have a state income tax, but we have no incentive up front for these people to move in. It would put us at a competitive disadvantage that we cannot recover from.
Right now, our economic incentive program expires December 31st. Already, we're having difficulty negotiating with companies who are considering a South Dakota location or expansion because they know that if they plan now, they'll construct in 2013 or 2014. With an uncertain situation in the future, they're considering not looking at South Dakota because they don't know that we can offer an incentive. We need Referred Law 14. Every month that passes, that the deadline draws nearer, weakens our ability to negotiate with companies.
Referred Law 14 changes the previous law by lowering the threshold to qualify from $10 million to $5 million, which is going to help smaller communities. It's going to help diversify the kinds of projects that can be encouraged. It's going to create more opportunities for South Dakotans to have a growing economy.
South Dakota is an awesome place to live. And one of the reasons why it's so great to live is because we don't have a whole lot of population and a whole lot of urban sprawl. The problem with that is we don't have a whole lot of population to draw from to get economic development. So it's critical to be able to bring people in from other states to be able to enjoy what we have to offer and be part of this community and have the business economy grow because of that. The state of South Dakota needs to do that. They need to have some form of mechanism that makes other people and other businesses aware of what we have to offer to draw them in to boost our economic development.
Economic growth in South Dakota is not guaranteed. The governor, the economic development team, local economic development teams compete every day against surrounding states for the kind of investment that creates jobs, provides funding for schools, and strengthens communities. Referred Law 14 will give us an improved way to attract those kinds of investments and to compete against the folks who would really like to see our businesses leave South Dakota and go to their state, or who are competing for us to keep the businesses that are looking at South Dakota from coming here.
Some people say we shouldn't divert tax dollars to incentives like this. The problem is with that rationale is it assumes that without that, we're going to get those businesses anyway. And what this does is it helps us get businesses that would otherwise not come because of the tax disadvantage. Once we can overcome that disadvantage, there'll be taxpayers here and job creators for years and years and years. Referred Law 14 changes our incentive program to allow the Economic Development Board to make discretionary use of the incentives, to only use them where we need them to attract companies. If we've got a project that's going to happen anyway, we're not going to incent those kinds of projects. It's a better use of our tax dollars. If you look at our wind industry, look at our ethanol industry, look at Bell Brands in Brookings that just broke ground earlier this year, those businesses all benefit from this economic incentive like we have in Referred Law 14.
Referred Law 14 is strengthening a program that has been wildly successful, has created the ethanol industry, has created wind industry, has helped expand manufacturers in Brookings, 3M, Millbank, Mitchell, many other places.
When the earlier program brought this ethanol plant here, it really changed the area. It brought a lot of jobs into town and a lot of revenue, I think. It has really helped the city.
Referred Law 14 will enable us to continue to encourage growth of renewable energy in South Dakota. Some people say, well, Referred Law 14 is for fat cats. That's not true. Referred Law 14 helps us encourage business and industry that adds good-paying jobs for all of us in South Dakota.
You look at 16 years of refunds and the companies that receive those refunds. They write checks into this economy every year that total 10% of our entire economy. That's $4 billion worth of checks, and we have a $40 billion economy. That's a successful program.
I think it's an opportunity for all of us. It provides more funding for schools, it provides more funding for roads in our area, it provides more job opportunities. Economic growth works for all of us.
Economic development is not only good for our cities, but it's good for everybody out here too.
Even though the funding is upfront, and many consider this a short-term investment, it's not. It's a long-term investment. Over the next 5 to 10 years, this company will repay the state of South Dakota and the people many times over what they have received.
Businesses that come into our state have made a commitment to bringing resources and jobs and longevity. So any money that we give them will be coming back. They're investing in our state. They're making a commitment to coming in. It's not like we're giving any money away. We'll be getting more back in infrastructure and opportunities for our state.
It contributes immensely, and not a lot of people stop to consider what that contribution would be. Assuming you have 20 employees, that's 20 families that are shopping in the stores and going to the schools and playing soccer on the fields, and the business is paying part of the property taxes to make that happen. The employees are paying part of the taxes to help that growth. Doing business in South Dakota is a wonderful thing because you have such great people that have such a great work ethic. And I'm concerned about the younger generations moving away because there aren't that many opportunities, or at least in their minds, there aren't that many opportunities.
I think it's extremely important for my children's future so that they have a good paying job, they can support their family when they get older, that they can pay for their education, and that they can, in fact, get a good education in the state, preferably.
Referred Law 14 isn't just about bringing out-of-state companies to South Dakota. It's also about helping companies already here decide to expand here. We have many businesses in South Dakota that have locations in multiple states. Baldwin Filters is an example in Yankton. They could have expanded their Nebraska plant, their South Dakota plant, their Mexico plant. They chose to expand their Yankton plant in part because of the incentives we are able to offer them. Referred Law 14 will ensure we have those incentives to offer.
We look at it this way: if you can make them stop and say wow, that's what we're trying to achieve. And so if you can make that economic investment to make other states, other companies, and other people stop and say wow about South Dakota, then it's a huge return on your investment.
Long-term funding that can go to schools, that can go to the state, that goes to local communities, that pays people. And when those people are paid, the average wage for the jobs that have been created over the past 16 years is $35,000 with benefits. Those people all own homes and pay taxes. Those people go shopping and spend money for taxes. So you have close to $4 billion of direct payments being given to employees, farmers, and small businesses who also pay taxes. So the tax break is a gain. And the growth in the economy is very significant. And that's what we refer to when we talk about economic development. And that's how you grow South Dakota's economy.
If we can encourage them to move to South Dakota, not only will they do well in the short run, but in the long run, they'll do well and they'll grow and add jobs here in our state. And that's what we want for our kids.
I'm for 14 because I'm for great jobs for South Dakota.
I'm for 14 because I'm for renewable energy.
I'm for 14 because I'm for business growth.
I'm for economic development, so I'm for 14.
I'm for education. I'm for 14.